You know, we talk off mic all the time. It's not a thing. Like this is what we talk all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
Exactly.
The reason we're doing this again is because you've made your best shit.
Let's go.
It's really simple.
Yeah,
it's like you just keep outdoing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite artists are the ones that set the bar the highest for themselves, and really don't consider expectations to be of others to be that necessarily that much of a deciding factor.
Yeah, 100%.
That's where the truth is. Even the devil smiles.
Yes.
Why is it a mixtape? Feels like an album. Is it
Oh.
a mixtape? Is it an album?
That's
What's the difference?
That's the conversation that's been happening for quite some time now, and it was a conscious decision that I made with a friend of mine, A-Side, and we kind of were just looking at the scope of what I was trying to accomplish. And I think that originally a lot of those projects were like almost like a side quest. I mean, songs were a side quest with each producer.
Yeah.
It didn't work out as being a complete project for each producer. So we started just putting things together. And then it started to dawn on me. Obviously I had the idea of what the concept was going to be, but it started to dawn on me that, a lot of the stuff that was actually coming together was my original vision of when I was in prison. I wrote down in a book of mine that I want to make a mixtape when I get out. And I've made projects that were, I guess, considered mixtapes because they're not quote unquote studio albums, but I never did the DJ with the, with the Who Kid with the.
Where'd you find that?
Yeah, all that. I've never got a chance to really do that.
No, it's real.
Yeah, so it's kind of full circle with the concept of the record, and then kind of me being able to actually fulfill that dream of actually making a real mixtape.
And so that was subconscious work, huh? I mean, the ideation of it was subconscious work. I mean, the way you describe it just now, you realized midway through the thought process that this was a very relatable project to the person who was in a very different set of circumstances as a young man.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that, there's another thing to also acknowledge. The original distribution platform for hip hop and rap music was through mixtapes because of a lack of resources, et cetera, et cetera. Even the process of sampling and things like that, coming from the lack of resources to hire a band necessarily to create the said music. So a lot of people were just chopping samples and loops and rapping over that and doing poetry over that. So to me, I think it's kind of like great that people are like, this is an album, but it's a mixtape.
It was a genuine question rather than an assertion from me, because I actually do think that with all of those very fair points made, there is a freedom for the listener that comes from the creator that exists in a mixtape space. I just feel like you can drive a little more recklessly in a mixtape for some reason, or it just feels like it does psychologically feel different.
Yeah, for sure. I think that for me, psychologically, I'm just in a place where the feeling is what makes it a mixtape. I think people would be like, yo, the mixtape is supposed to be not well mixed and kind of this thing
rough
that you
ready.
just throw out. And
Yeah.
Nah, but
passed around.
Nah, but that doesn't have to be that. You can premiere your mixtape at Mocha. It should be in places like that. You should be able to take it to the Smithsonian and tell a story and present it to the people on a gigantic screen and have them consume it for the first time that way.
It's one of the things I really love and respect about the way you do you is that, you don't just leave the creative in the studio and then distribute it to the people. You see the album as the key that unlocks the door in the corridor where you can put as much creative as you possibly can inside that storeroom of your mind.
Yes.
And that distribution model that you've developed and ways to surprise, whether it's working in the sort of competitive sort of racetrack and fast car situation of modern racing right through to this. It's just always just so interesting from F1 down. Yeah. It's such an interesting way to do it. How much of that, let's stay in the theme of like the young you and the today you, how much of that do you think really started to kind of show itself when you were in prison? The idea of actually thinking creatively outside just making music and building worlds around things.
It's actually all of it started there. I learned something very important from being in prison, and it's the biggest lesson or skill set that I've picked up, and it's the ability to have a certain level of patience for your ideas. Because when I'm there, I'm like, I have all these things I want to do and I can't do none of this stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not how you look at it. It's kind of like my ability to look at release dates now, no pun intended, stem from prison. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, this record was done in August. I had these pressed, already. Like, for a while,
it's true, by the way, because I went around to listen to it and was like going, this is amazing. And I was like, when's it coming out? And you're like, we're figuring that out. But look at here's the test pressing. And I'm like, you had the test pressing before the release date. Do you know how many artists have the release date and then freak the fuck out because they don't have the test pressing?
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, our vinyl's coming in 6 months.
No,
yeah.
But it's from being in prison. Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's from being in prison for me. Because in prison, you can't do anything until you get released. But there's an important thing that I think a lot of people miss. It's your time to plan. Yep. You plan from when you get out to what it's going to be. So every day that I'm in there, I'm spending it as wisely as possible planning. So now when I'm in my situation now where I'm like, I got this record. I was watching a video and I think it was like Dead End Hip Hop, where they were like, they were saying how if I had a record with all these features and all these people, I wouldn't be able to just sit on it. Like he sat on this record for a while, and I just, for me, that's the only way to do things, the release date and working back from it, and that comes from being behind bars.
Yeah, the storytelling it makes total sense, and I appreciate you sharing that. And the storytelling on this record is, look, you were making music before Is He Real. Is He Real was a game changer, though, to the degree, because the level of honesty that you showed in your life. I feel like, you're an author, you're a painter, you choose music to be your outlet, and you market it in a very broad way. You understand that language too. Mm-hmm. But let's just put this through the filter of books. Say you were writing books and you were telling your story and inspiring others by using your story to create proper, every time a little annual of who you were at your life. Is He Real? Very important personal journey between you to some degree and your mother and your family.
Yes.
This one really is the book about coming to terms with who you were and what got you into the prison cycle and the system. And it's so honest. The last song is just so honest. It must be... I guess there's a question here, but we're really not a Q&A kind of relationship.
We can do that. Come on.
But you know what I mean? There's a question here, which is, how does it feel in the moment to address those things from a creative standpoint, realize you're using that as a key to unlock things that you've probably been afraid to acknowledge in your life?
Yeah, man, it's a relief. Honestly, that's why I love what I do so much, because it's like, people don't understand most of the joy that I get is from the beginning stages of letting things out. Mm-hmm. I get to do that for a living. I get to almost, treat my art as therapy for a living. And a lot of that record was built from frustration that I had with people, because I'm like, when I'm in prison behind bars and you bet on the Commanders game and you lose, you pay up. You don't see those same people every single day and you're not paying them what you owe them. That doesn't happen. It could end really badly. And that's where I learned the importance of respect, because when people respect you, there's a saying in prison called man respect man. So I was never in a gang or anything like that. I had people that had love and respect for me, and the way that I carried myself and the things that I did, even though I was quite young. And I think that for me, that same principle carries on to how I deal with people. So I'm not a person that purposely doesn't get back to people. I do everything I can to remember if I can. And I noticed that some people will really see your message and just blow you off and not respond to you in the music industry. And I didn't feel it until I became an independent artist again. Mm-hmm. That's when I realized, man, these people not responding to me for certain things that they said they do costs me a lot now. It's not like before where it's like, I can just, wait forever and then someone doesn't do it and I move on. It's like, yo, you're kind of messing with my livelihood. So it comes back to that instinct and that feeling that I had when I was in prison. And then I'm like, but I can't do the things you would do in prison in that situation in real life.
Yeah.
So I put it in the music. So that's why the first part of this record sounds so angry.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at all these people. I'm like, yo, you don't even know the kind of person that I used to be. And I'm not trying to be that person right now, but you have no idea like the risk that you may be putting yourself in just by.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I look at it like, yo, if I'm going to see you out one day, why are you not responding? Like, you might see me in real life.
Yeah.
And I have done that to people where I'm like, yo, you didn't see my text?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, you don't answer your phone, huh?
Yeah. Or let's just keep it real with me. Either you didn't see it, or you're too busy, or you've moved on. But let's just get it clear.
Yeah, just don't play with me. Don't say you're going to do something and then try to duck me.
Yeah.
You could say, oh, man, it didn't work out the way that I thought. Or, you could tell me, I'm an understanding person. Like, I'm reasonable. But to just kind of like dodge me and shit, like
more than that, you're principled. Like, you don't expect anything of others that you don't expect of yourself.
Yeah.
I can say from experience that in matters of personal growth for me and things that I thought you could help out with at various moments in life, you have 100% always honored that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's real life. That's like how you build and maintain relationships. Those expectations need to be both ways. And I know you really hold yourself as I said at the top of our conversation, you hold yourself to the highest standard.
Yeah, 100%. And that's with what I make. That's how I present what I make. Mm-hmm. That's with how I treat my fans and the people that support me. Mm-hmm. I've gotten, especially this week, man, this guy's such a genius at marketing and this, that, and the thing, that, and the third. And I don't care to be looked at as a marketer because that's not what I am. This is based off survival. When I first got out, there was no manager or nothing, no industry in
no one to do it for you.
Yeah, in Prince George's County, Maryland. You had to figure it out. I had to read mad articles and just do it.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of survival in this industry for me. But when they say marketing, it's like, nah, you're downplaying it because it's not marketing. It's actually very simple. It's not, to me, it's not genius. To me, it's like I literally just pay attention to my fans and I talk to my fans. I'm on Discord. Sometimes I'm lurking. They don't even see me. Like, they don't know that I'm on there. I'm like looking at them. And they're like, man, we got this so-and-so's vinyl and it didn't even have an insert in it. And I'm like, oh, shoot, they care about the inserts. Okay. They care about the experience. Like the vinyls for me that are selling the most are the most expensive ones with the gatefold. Mm-hmm. Less that one's going way quicker than the ones that are just standard. Mm-hmm. And lets me know people are willing to pay for the experience. So my whole thing is, how do I create an experience for my fans they'll never forget? So you could tell me 10 different rappers right now, right? And you'd be like, oh, he flows better than you, or he has better bars than you, or he sings better than you, whatever you can say. But when it comes to presentation and giving my fans an experience, I don't know if anybody's fucking with me.
I would agree. No one else is, bringing worlds that are vivid and tactile and it's kind of fashion, but it's also athletics and sports at the highest level, and there's danger and creativity and color, and somehow you make it all make sense every single time. Yeah. And I'm not surprised that I'm going to use this word, you didn't, but perhaps some form of bristle at the term of it being marketing, because it puts it in a box and it takes it away from what is real to you, as you said, which is, how can I make this, how can I deepen my relationship with the people that love me?
Yeah, that's it.
Marketing is actually about getting people who don't know you to know you.
Yeah.
Actually the principle of it, or reinforcing that relationship. Right. You're trying to make it more exciting for people. Every single time.
Right.
But for lack of a better term, you do speak that language really fucking well. You do understand things that people get paid a lot of money to try to do for brands all the time. You just do it for your own brand. Mm-hmm. Let's get into the music of it all. It starts with a phone call. Yeah. In your words.
It starts with a phone call that I'm having with a friend of mine, D'Angelo Sneed, who I was in prison with, who basically was the main person that told me I should take rap seriously when I was in there. And part of that idea of making the mixtape, that came from conversations that I had through him, at least the inspiration. Mm-hmm. So I gave him a call, or he gave me a call, sorry, I answered. And then, you go through the whole collect call thing, and I almost pushed 7 on accident.
Which would have done what?
It would have made it so he can never call me again. I would have blocked him on accident.
Wow.
So I was like, thank God I didn't press 7 because it's like press 7 to block this caller. So I didn't do that, and that's what I said. And then he just basically is trying to hear the album, so I play the album for him. That's how it starts.
Yeah. Why did you start the album like that? What does it speak to the narrative of the record for you?
I mean, this whole record is me tapping back into where I was in that situation, being in prison. Me actually going deeper into why am I so angry at these people that are playing, what I call games with my livelihood and what I do in music. Why am I so angry? And then I kind of start to uncover all of that through this record. Even certain parts of it when it's like if you see how I reference women in certain songs for my entire career, I never went to the root of what that was until this record. That's why I have a song on there called Misogynistical, because it was like me coming to the realization that I feel these ways and I say these things, which, by the way, moving forward and what I do, I'm kind of like cleaning all that up just because I've said everything I needed to say that is in that category. And I just want to speak about women differently in the music that I'm making now.
Then you're right on time to figure out what a source of that kind of behavior was. And what did you learn by doing that song?
I learned that it was from being in prison, and my first love came to prison to visit me and break up with me.
So it's an abandonment issue.
Yeah, it was a problem that I had. And I was like, I had to be at that time I was in 23-hour lockdown too. So meaning I get out of my cell for 1 hour and all I could do was think about that.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy way to experience a breakup when you're 19.
Yeah, it's very intense. And actually at that point, as I've been told, you're not abandoned anymore, you're rejected. Abandonment is what happens when you actually have no control over the situation and your parents abandon you, or you feel abandoned by something or someone, but you can't control it one way or the other. That's abandonment.
Yeah. Rejection
is when you have the illusion of control and someone takes it from you.
Yeah.
That's rejection.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is, that's fuel that will fuck with you for your whole life unless you get to the root of that.
For sure. And then you couple that with how I don't think it's cool really anymore. I think it was cool to be somewhat misogynistic in rap music in general, in the way that we present things. And listen, it goes both ways to some extent, because there's some things that are cool that, maybe women may be saying about guys now, right? But in my mind, in the way that I've kind of lived life and where I am now and the awareness that I'm able to have, I'm kind of like, I'm off that. That was cool, whatever. Yeah, I fucked her. I did
You were
this,
angry,
I did that.
you were pissed off, and you were just getting inside that conversation again with yourself.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying this is therapy, because it allows me to see these things.
Do you do therapy outside of music?
No, not. I've tried. I've done it. I've had a run-in with it that was pretty decent to me, but they kind of were like, you. I swear to God, the guy says literally, I've been seeing you for a couple weeks now, and you have a very high level of consciousness. And he let me know that I'd have trouble with finding peers and even more trouble finding mentors. And he said, but that's okay as long as you understand there's a lot of things you'll probably have to figure out on your own or feel lonely about. And he said, look, call me when you're feeling something, but I believe you have a grasp on a lot of what's going on in your life.
And he was right?
Yeah. I mean, to some degree, I'm sure there's way more things I can uncover as time progresses.
But more to the concept of mandatory loneliness.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I'm definitely like, I have a way of thinking of things that may be simple to me, but for other people aren't necessarily simple to understand.
Do you think that makes you difficult for people to work with at times?
Musically, nah. I think I've let go of so much. I just know who I trust. I know who to listen to, and I just do that. So musically, not really. Even dealing with people, when I'm putting out records, distribution partners, whatever. If I see you got it over here, I'm not trying to mess it up. My last thing I want to do is come and give you my 2 cents and then ruin everything, right?
Yeah.
So no, I think just in the sense of finding love and meeting people in that world of things, that could be, you have to understand where I'm coming from to understand that I mean no harm. when certain things that I may think, because I say so many things that are people would consider profound, and when I start off, it might sound one way, but when I finish and I get to explain and land, as people would say, I think people understand where I'm coming from. But it's just, can we get to the end of it?
It's another exercise in patience.
Yeah.
Right?
Fact.
And trust.
Yeah.
I want to talk about trust for a second, if that's cool, because it's one of those things that I'm sure when you emerge from a situation where trust isn't that forthcoming, it's probably more whether it's your childhood where you're like, where's the trust in this relationship? Or can I put my trust in something or someone?
Yeah.
Build those foundations, those building blocks. Or whether you're in prison and you have peers around you who you say show you love, but then again, it's an environment where people have got to survive and got to get through it. And so then you come out the other side, then you're in an industry, and we know what the industry is about, and trust is hard to find here as well. Mm-hmm. So how do you establish a trust with people? How do you function in your everyday life utilizing that word at a good level?
Man.
Is it a fair question?
Yeah, very fair question. You know how I do it? I have this rule. Whoever I meet, I always trust them 50%. And based off of what their actions are and how they move and things
Sliding
that I see,
scale.
it slides. Yeah, if it gets below a certain amount, I probably won't. I'll spend less time with you. If it gets above a certain amount, I'll be able to trust you more. And I think that's how I go into every situation. I don't come in not trusting anybody, because I don't want to live my life like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not very like cynical in that way, or I think like everything could be, I'm not really like that. I'm kind of just like, let me see what's up with you. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I learn, damn, I probably shouldn't have trusted that person 50%, but that's not going to stop me from doing it to the next person. Feel me?
I do. I think it's I've never heard that before, and I think it's a beautiful and balanced approach, man. I mean, you're silently putting a scale in front of people, and we'll just see whether you go up or go down.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes, sir.
You said right back at the beginning of the conversation that you came up with the concept early on.
Yes.
And you're so conceptually driven. I say that as a word to try to sum it up. Maybe, I'm sure it's deeper and more complex, but the easiest way to sum it up is that, you give us conceptual, creative work.
Yeah.
And we've talked about the idea of who you were, who you are, and we haven't talked about it, but I know that there is a timeline that establishes that this album was created around the same time you would have been released from prison.
Yeah.
Term.
Yeah.
But you've called it Even the Devil Smiles, and I'm trying to get to that side of it. The artwork, the name, all of it means something very clear to you. So keep the mystery for the mystery, but just tell us what you want to tell us.
Yeah, for sure. Even the Devil Smiles is just basically, it's twofold. So when I got sentenced at 18, by that time I was 18. I got in trouble at 17, but I was 18. The people who were victims of one of the cases, because I had multiple, those people came to court. They were older, probably in their 30s, 20s, late 20s, 30s, and they had victim impact statements. And I can vividly see and remember the guy in the case was like something along the lines of, this kid is the devil. If he's doing stuff like this at 17, imagine when he gets older.
This is the victim talking.
Yes, because they want me to get the maximum sentence, which was 15 years. And pretty much, actually, rewind that, it was like 80 years if you add up all the charges. Obviously, you don't get, it's like very unlikely that they give you the max for everything on your first offense. But if you put everything together, that's kind of what it was. It was something like that. And so I remember them calling me the devil in that situation. And then when I reverse it back in the music industry, it's like there's so many people that actually are the devil, but they smile. And then there's me, who I don't believe I'm the devil. And it's like, I smile because I'm a real person. I'm actually a good person. I just had a bad circumstance at a young age. And so that was what the concept of the entire name comes from. And in this artwork, shout out to Marigold, it's like a guy with this crooked smile, like this grin almost. And I refer to the grin a lot in the record because to me, the grin is like, it looks like a smile, but it has something else behind it. Yeah.
Layers.
Steep.
Layers.
Steep.
Beautiful artwork.
Thank you.
powerful. You know, wow, powerful observation there about accepting and acknowledging your worth.
Yeah, for sure.
And coming to terms with the fact that you've made the most of a second chance and gotten a chance to be someone you can be proud of. On Scrambled Eggs, again, the last song on the album, I still feel regret from the people I robbed. My heart still hurt from the people I've harmed. I still can't sleep from the pain that I've dealt. And there's a follow-up line, which I'm not going to quote.
Yeah.
You carry that with you still?
Yes. I just also want to say and acknowledge I respect that you knew when to stop right with that one. Thank you for that. I think about it because it says that's why it's like I get upset when people think they get played games, right? Because it's like, man, obviously I'm not this way anymore. There's nothing in my mind that thinks this is okay. But at that time, I feel bad at the fact that I had people's lives in my hands. Maybe my intention was not to harm anybody, but I know that those people thought that they may not be here after today, after this moment. And I was on the other side of that. And as a 17-year-old, you're not thinking about it that way. You're kind of just like, yeah, I'm not going to do nothing. I just need whatever I need. But those people were scared. And that's why I feel regret. Because when I think about that, I'm like, man, they didn't know whether they would. I just don't know how I could. I don't like the feeling of that. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional, but it just makes me feel bad. Yeah.
As a music fan and a fan of your music, I see the power in music at its most courageous, right? And it takes self-courage to create. It takes real courage to release and to execute and to share it. The fact you're even having this conversation with me today, it doesn't take anything away from the impact of whatever anyone does to other people. It's their experience. But the fact that you're willing to acknowledge it and sit down and talk about it in the context of an album, I wouldn't be talking about it with you if you hadn't made the song.
Yeah, for sure.
And I really, really appreciate your honesty in this moment.
Of course.
And I know others do, because look at the kind of people you're working with on this record.
Yeah.
They want to have that experience.
Yeah.
A-side.
Yeah.
You know?
Shout out A-side.
Shout out A-side. No ID.
Yeah.
You know, Caterer once again.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got yourself a crew now who want to see where you are at certain points in your life.
Yeah.
But you're a producer as well.
Yes.
So what are you getting out of that, working with other people?
I like to complete ideas. I love completing ideas. I start them here and there, but I like to complete them. It's like solving like a Rubik's Cube sometimes.
Yeah.
When a sample gets denied and you got to kind of figure out how to keep the feeling of the record.
Yeah. Conductor.
Around.
Can I forget Conductor?
Yeah, Conductor.
As soon as you mention samples, I'm like, Conductor.
I think one thing people should understand about me that's really important is before I'm a rapper, I'm actually a producer.
That's right.
That's what I do probably best. And I was watching something where someone was, reacting to some songs and they're like, man, whoever decided to put the reverb like this and do this thing right here, man, that was so. And it's like, I work with my engineer, Ed, and I think of these ideas and he's really good at executing them. When
you sat down with us in what was Jimmy's office, I think at the time here at Apple, and Jimmy, played us Is He Real for the first time, I remember asking in the room, who produced this? And Kurt, who's a mutual buddy who was working with you at the time, he laughed and just waited for the answer, and you were like, I did. Yeah. And it shouldn't come as any surprise, but I just was like, this is such a thoughtful and developed body of work for someone I barely know.
Right.
So yeah, you're a producer first.
Yeah, and I like the idea of creating a world. That's like I think a lot of people don't realize how seriously I take things when they say they're going to do something, right? So it'll be like this said producer be like, yeah, let's do a project. And I'm like, all right, bet. And then like 2 weeks later, like I might have 16 songs. Like, yeah, so what do you want to do? Let's get the studio and finish it. And they're like, whoa. Hold up, bro. I didn't know you really was like, no, I don't just say shit. I don't say things just to say them. And then it becomes, hold on, wait. Let me just, I'm doing this over here. And I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna take the beat and finish the beat. Here's what I did. It's just because that's how I am. I gotta finish the thing if if we say we're going to do the thing, I don't just do things to do them. I am not a person who feels like I need to hold everything on my hard drive. I think that if there's a point of view that I'm excited to tell the world and it can help a lot of people, I want to give it to them.
Is that the trick? Just keep going? Consistency?
Yes. Yeah, for me, I've released a project every year.
Yeah.
Since I started. That's just how I move. I have 3 projects right now. This just came out. I already have the follow up to this. Actually, I have the vinyl. Can I see? It's behind you. Oh yeah. Let's not show the cover yet. Not the cover.
That's the most IDK thing IDK has said all day is maybe let's not show the cover yet.
Yeah, all right. Facts. You know how I am with the covers.
In stages.
Like the follow up to this project.
That's it?
Yeah.
Can I hold it?
Yeah. And every, don't say the name though.
I'm not saying the name.
No, but funny, people already know the name. They figured it out. It's in this project.
What's so crazy to me is that without even giving any details away, I'm really trying to kind of be a little bit cloak and dagger here.
Yeah.
Even just seeing the music in order.
Yeah.
With in groove.
Right.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like I'm holding a complete body of work that there's been no release date, no announcement, no nothing, yet it exists in physical form.
Yeah.
It's so anti-modern, it's unbelievable. It's the most antiquated like approach to it's how it should be done.
Yeah.
But compared to how people do it now.
Yeah, for sure.
This is some crazy shit.
For sure. It's
congratulations.
Fun. I appreciate that. Be careful with the grooves. I really do have the fans that'll look at the grooves and be able to
That's why I'm trying to
recreate them.
That's why I wasn't even trying to count them. I wasn't even trying to count them.
Yeah. I remember I was watching something and they were like, man, yeah, based off of the thickness of the vinyl, because it was a gatefold, but they didn't know there's like it has to have anywhere from this amount of songs to this amount of songs. I thought that was so cool. It's so flattering.
Yeah.
When my fans be like really on top of this, but I love that Discord. It's like I'm watching like reality TV or something.
But you built that world for us to lean into because you pique our curiosity every time. It's not like there's any expectation. It's like you again try to fulfill. You try to expand our levels of expectation. Exactly.
That's all every time.
All right, let's talk about some of the people that show up on this record. There's some people that we know that you love to work with. Pusha T once again, DMX. We've talked about DMX a little bit here and there on the record, but it's got to the point now where I feel it goes beyond the trade, not that it ever was, but you know what I mean? Like, you obviously have a great relationship with the family and the estate of DMX. That wouldn't continue to give you license to use his creative spirit on your music.
Right.
So in your own words, what does that relationship mean to you, someone who was as impactful and influential as and remains as DMX?
I think DMX is the most authentic rapper ever, period. I remember there was a situation that he had to be honest about, and he's like, I don't lie. And it was like one of those things where a lot of people probably wouldn't just be upfront about, but it's like, one thing I don't do is lie. And if you look at what he did in the time he came out, because I was young, so I had to go back, it was like very much like anti what a rapper was at that time. And nobody has done that since the way that he has. And I think it becomes evident that he's extremely authentic to who he is and his DNA. And that's why like he's always going to be one of the GOATs for me, period. Like I'm heavily influenced by what he does. I'm always striving to be that true to myself. I think I'm very true to myself, but to that degree, that's something I want to accomplish.
One of the things that people really and continue to respond to in relation to DMX's music is his deep connection to the spiritual and the fact that he could be very authentic and talk to his experience from a street level and speak to that. But he also was taking people to church. He was creating a spiritual experience as well, striving to create something bigger than himself or bigger than whatever we do on this planet. Like there's God to serve.
Yeah.
I've never asked you this, man. What's your spiritual foundation? What is your relationship with the other?
Oh, with God, I believe in God heavily. I believe in, and by the way, I want to clarify so people understand God could be the universe, it could be the other, what you just said, it could be Allah, whatever you want to call it, but it's the fact that it's whatever or whoever engineered the solar system and the world that we live in here. I cannot believe that it just happened out of coincidence. There's too many things that are very well calculated for this world to go around. So I believe in a higher power for sure.
Where or when or how do you feel closest to that higher power in your life, if there was some commonality to the experience?
When I create, because I don't write 90% of this stuff. It's these thoughts that are profound that
New
come to my mind.
information for me. You're a non-writer.
No, I don't write. Not to say that I don't want to start getting back into writing. I'm actually writing my first book right now.
Hey, that's great, man.
Yeah, it's philosophical memoir, and I just kind of go on my voice notes and I like talk into it, and then I do my edits from there. And it's similar to the process of making music for me, except it's a lot easier because I don't have to make it rhyme. So that's the but I'm so used to making it rhyme that it's, easy.
Maybe it works in reverse sometime, and so maybe this will happen over time as well. I mean, having the framework of stanza or couplet or whatever you want to call it, and having the desire to make it rhyme, sometimes it gives you a sort of restriction in vocabulary that allows you to zero in on what you're trying to say a little more. Like when you have the whole glossary in front of you and you're searching for the right word to sum up a feeling, it's like, I don't know. I have huge respect for people who get deep into the written word, because I'm not that either. I go on the microphone and say shit.
Yeah, fair.
I really respect people who make decisions. And when you have to write a book, you've got to make decisions every time you put a word on the page. Every time.
Yeah, and I think that for me, that's a very pleasant experience in expanding, my writing. But even back to the original thing, that's when I'm the closest, to, as you would say, the other. It's through that, because I be saying words, I'm like, I didn't know I knew that word, and I used it perfectly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I'm like, whoa, this happened to me in my life, and I didn't realize that. Like, for example, the song that we mentioned earlier, I was just like, oh yeah, this is why.
Yeah, it's crazy how you we all have this inner voice, and I think depending on how loud it is or what it's trying to tell us, we have ways to distract ourselves from it or dull it or whatever. But music doesn't really exist. Great art doesn't really exist unless you are willing to come face to face with it.
Yes.
And have a conversation with yourself.
Yes, I 100% agree with that wholeheartedly.
I want to focus a little bit on No ID. This legend from Chicago who, whenever he shows up on any record and however he touches the record, whether it's a complete project like 444 or whether it's putting his creative on this album, feels like an event.
Yeah.
Something about it just feels like an event. Like he understands how to elevate his contribution to the point where it's like, he's like James Cameron. It's like if James Cameron did a music video, it'd still be James Cameron.
right.
Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't be like, that's not good. It's like, no, it's James Cameron. So what's it like to work with him? And he doesn't work with many anymore. He's very selective.
I'll say this. I have a lot of experience working with the people that don't like to work with a lot of people.
That's right.
So by this time, it's kind of like him specifically, he sent me a bunch of things, sent things back. I added things to it and stuff. And I remember one time, he was like, usually, I send it, someone sends it back to me, then I do. He's like, but you kind of got that. Like, so it's like, cool. He was one of the people that like really emphasized emptying out your hard drive.
What does he mean?
It's like, you got so much stuff on your hard drive, bro. He's like, man, we need to start making beats. You don't even really be shopping beats to nobody or nothing. He's like, we should just get in and just make beats and then give them to people, and that he put a battery in my back actually to have these 3 records done, because he was one of the first to kind of come at me with the, we should put out 3 records this year.
Yeah. Why wait?
Right. So it started like that. And then I had like the 3 records and it was like, all right, wait, whoa, you know how I do. So it's like, we have to, put it all together the right way. But yeah, now working with him, he's extremely inspiring. I've been wanting to work with him forever. I was so excited at the prospect of us doing anything.
Yeah, and I mean, you two of you have incredible creative chemistry. I mean, there are incredible songs on this record. There's some surprises. Cop. You went for that kind of Beasties energy, that rap boy Beasties energy.
Yeah.
Same could be said, that early Beasties energy that Joey and Bray bring. This duo from Australia that just, everybody down under in the parts of the world just love their energy. But, I like the fact you keep us guessing and you find some kind of, again, kindred creative spirit with people that on paper people might go, oh, I can't wait for IDK to discover Joey Valance.
Yeah.
So what draws you to them, and how important is the person versus the talent? What's the ratio you're looking for here?
It depends on how I come across them. The talent is probably going to be the most important first, because that's how I even want to do something. I was like going to I got invited to this Balenciaga show in it was in LA or something like that. And they sent me this interesting, invite. It was like a metal chocolate bar. And I thought it was cool. I was like, I don't be using TikTok and all that enough. Let me just try to make one. And it suggested a song to me. And the song was, I don't remember the name of the song, but it was a Joey Valance and Bray song. And it's the one that's like running and running and running and running and running. And I'm like, who is this? This is crazy. And I was like, I got to see who these people are. And I used the song, by the way.
Yeah.
And I go look, and I'm like, these guys? And then I just started looking at all their videos and stuff. And then I'm like, I got to reach out. And they were like, stoked that I reached out. So it was very organic in that way. They sent me a couple records, and then they sent me Clover, what it was at the time. It was called Tribe Shit at the time. And I did my verse. I did another verse. And then I kind of sent it back to them, and I had like a hook idea with like a saxophone originally. And then they ended up not actually using it on their project. And it was A-Side who was like, wait, what's that record right there? He was like, oh, that would go crazy in festivals. And I wasn't thinking about things like that. I was just kind of like, I like this one, I don't like this. And he's like, nah, man. He brought like a psychology to it. He's like, you need to finish that. So that's when I took it. I worked with Johnny. He plays the piano, and then we created that hook section, and then we modernized it, is what I would say, and then that turned into the song, and I sent it back to them, and they're like, yo, that middle section is crazy.
Yeah.
It's so unexpected. And I remember playing it for A-Side, and he was like, that's pretty bold. He was like,
is that true?
Yeah, he was like,
that's pretty bold.
I see. He was like, I mean, I wouldn't have done that, but maybe. And I just
honesty.
But it's my point of reference isn't 1991 rap. My point of reference isn't Beastie Boys. My point of reference is Damon Albarn and Gorillaz. So I'm thinking that. And I think I even had them on the screen, because I like to have different people on the screen when I'm making music that is like the opposite of the song if I can think of it. And I was like, boom, Damon Albarn. And then I'm like, I just want to do something left field. I know it's going to probably be annoying to people if they just want the hip hop thing part of it, and I throw some auto tune, I don't care. And that's what I did with the middle section of that song. And funny enough, Cop, same thing, A-Side. I wasn't going to put it on the project. I didn't want to play it for him, because if anyone knows, A-Side is people can be afraid to play their music for him because he's very honest. I love that, and I embrace that part of our relationship. And I was trying to not play that record. I was like, let me play the record. He's like, yeah, it's cool. And I was like, by the way, I got this little, and I played it, and he's like, that's the best fucking thing you played me all day. He's like, that. And it's funny because I was like, I thought that he wouldn't fuck with this. I thought people wouldn't fuck with it. So I say all that to say, he's like one of the people that I trust. Like he'll like be like, yo, this is what it is. This is what I think.
Well, you can do anything, but you're right. You need people in your life that are going to hold you to some standard that perhaps you might be sidestepping.
Yeah.
out of the interest, out of the excitement around, it could be something new that you made. We all fall in love with the new thing we made.
The worst.
We all fall in love with the new
Biggest
thing
problem
we made.
ever.
We all do. It's new. The only people who like new music are the artists who make it. Everyone else is like, I need this to be familiar for me to really love it.
Fair.
You know, you need someone who's going to be like, no, you know, especially when you can turn your hand to anything. I mean, and also I like how you bring people into your world. I mean, Madlib has such a definable sound. K-Tronada has such a definable sound. I feel like you meet them
in the middle.
50.
Yeah. Sometimes I do it because it's cool. Sometimes I do it because I have to.
Yeah.
It depends on the producer, you know?
Tell us a Madlib story. Because again, Madlib showing up at the moment, not all the time. At the moment, not all the time.
I don't know if Madlib even.
By the way, I want to clarify that. By showing up, I mean actually showing up, not showing up through quality. Quality, 100% all the time.
Right.
I mean, actually, you know, around.
Yeah, I don't know if Madlib even has a phone. You know, I have never communicated directly with him in any of the process.
Never.
It's either
did you get
it's
hold of him
always
even?
through somebody.
Right.
Talib Kweli. He was the one who kind of facilitated
That's a
lot of that. Yeah. And
Wow.
And
So good.
Feel the Agony also as well. Like, so with that, it was a batch of. I think I tweeted one day. I was like, I want to do a song. I want to work with Madlib, and then I get a email or a text from I think it was Egon or Will from K-Tronada team who got the stuff from Egon. It's like all this, got this thing from this person, from that person, and now I got the beats.
Yeah.
And I sat on those beats for years and I didn't do anything with them. And then this started happening. And then, you know, I was like, oh man, I wanna do a project. And I started making a whole Madlib project. And it was like 14 songs. I did it in like 2 weeks. And then it was like most of that shit was either taken, can't find a sample.
I was going to say.
It was all kinds of shit.
This is where your patience might kick you in the ass. I'm so glad you said it because I was sitting here really quietly going, you sat on Madlib beats? Now that A-side is bold.
Very much so. So, but shout out to Kweli, bro, because he was really the one who guided me through it. He's like, look, man, sometimes you just got to take matters into your own hands with some of the work. And if he fucks with it, then you can put it out.
I was going to say, it's not like it's going to make any difference if you're in the room with him anyway. Doesn't it go that he prints something, gives it to you, and that's it?
No stems, nothing. Bro.
Nothing.
That's the beat. You might not have the sample.
You get the print.
You have to find the sample.
One of one.
You have to have a friend who has a record collection in London that happens to have the sample.
Who knows what that is? And
A-side.
Yeah, because that's legendary. That, you know, okay, we've got to accept that some people aren't going to understand what we're talking about. Most producers will work with you, perhaps in the studio, and you'll get stems and separates from that experience.
Yeah.
Or even if it's done via the magic of WeTransfer,
Yeah.
they'll send you the stems, and then you can, depending on your relationship, decide how deep you want to collaborate and adjust and do. Oh, can you drop this, dip this, move that?
Right.
No.
No.
There you go.
Fun fact.
Crazy, I love it.
I didn't have the stems for at least 80% to 90% of this record. I was talking to Kay the other day. I was like, yeah, bro, you probably wondering how I like da-da-da-da-da. I was like, bro, could you not send me these stems, bro? These are MP3s.
What?
This whole album?
You mastered straight off of MP3s. Now we're in real nerd mode. But you know what? You get one for that.
Right.
I can't believe that.
Yeah,
wow, you give hope to all of us guys who can't mix. All of us girls, all of us people who can't mix. Man, not anyone can mix. It's a really tough skill.
Yeah.
You're telling me I can just do something on Logic, like how it sounds, and go master that shit? Thank you, brother.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Of course. Well, there's a lot of things that we did, though, that were really important.
Yeah.
When it was done, I bounced every song to tape. So we printed it all on tape to give it this level of, like, it compresses it just a little more and gives it a little bit more saturation. So maybe the things that you would feel on a digital MP3 low quality, you would gain back to some degree.
Or you use that particular, some people may say lack of quality, let's call it sonic dynamic sound. Mm-hmm. That unique value of what it is to its advantage.
Exactly.
You actually lean into the flaws.
Exactly. You think about Mad Villainy, right? It's like, I don't think that was the most, the best mixed album of all time, but that sounds so good.
I know.
And that's why I like textures. Like Madlib has these certain textures, and K Tronada has these textures that they play around with, and that's the charm. It's the charm.
Yeah.
And that's why I decided to mix my vocals so clean. It's the balance. It's like the balance. Normally people would be like, oh, it's lo-fi, so let me mix my vocals lo-fi. But I was like, no. I'm going to do the opposite.
Counterpoint.
I'm going to make the vocals sound really, really clean and on top. And then I'm going to make the sample and the beat and all that stay, have that charm.
Well, if you're in a conversation, if you met somebody and you had, I don't know, you went out for a drink with them or whatever, and you showed up dressed like you're dressed, looking fantastic, right?
Thank you.
Well, I mean, you always dress brilliantly, right? You have a real eye for fashion, and you wear what you wear really well.
Thank you.
And then I showed up, and you're like, oh man, all right, you're looking pretty casual. I'm like, oh shit, I feel pretty casual next to you. But we're going to get on just fine.
Right.
It's like you're letting the music be the music and be itself and be what it needs to be, and then you can just make it make sense.
Yeah, because I think it's all about honesty. And a lot of the times things were lo-fi the way they were because they just didn't have the resources to do it the way that maybe I could. Me being honest is I like clarity, especially in vocals.
Yeah.
It's the balance between...
Well, of course you do. You're a vocalist. As long as you sound louder than everything else, it doesn't really fucking matter, does it?
Exactly. No.
Am I wrong?
No. But for me, it's where the old meets the new, the balance between what was and what is, or what's coming. And if I look at anytime I rap on something that feels old school, I'm like, what's the thing I could do to bring it to tomorrow, Yeah,
I love it.
And I always like do that in every aspect. We had to print that record like 4 or 5 times because it'll be like, oh shoot, the sample didn't get clear, but we already in mastering. So I'm like, yo, Mike Bozzi, hey, we gotta
pull up.
Can we sorry, we gotta return. So we gotta run the East-West, go reprint it, then come back, do it. And then I was like, oh wait, but this is off. And then we got to stop that, come back.
Which must be maddening for somebody who spends so long trying to dial into every detail to get it to a point where you feel like it's in the order of things, and then this shit's just out of your control, right?
Yeah, but what I love about it is with vinyl and printing things, it kind of forces you to be like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because the digital way of doing things for me has always led to last minute changes.
Yeah.
Because I had
too much choice.
And I had to just this is the record, bro. It's on wax. This is the record. Unless it was like something really, really crazy that was going to be a big problem. This is the record. I'm working on the next record. Instead of nitpicking and nitpick. Sometimes you'll mess it up by doing that.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah. So you just got to know when to stop.
You're working on the next record. You've got the next record.
The next and the next.
And the next. This will wrap up something. This next one will wrap up something for you. Will it clear the way for something new?
Yes. This next one, this next one's going to be speaking to this one. And if you look on the back of the cover, when you flip it over, so flip it over. So it's a double-sided cover. It's a double-sided cover.
Oh yeah. I see. Yeah. So you got okay. The devil is smiling.
And when you take this one, you put it together.
Careful.
They'll connect.
Oh, I see.
Oh yeah.
There's writing on that.
Right.
Wow, amazing.
When you connect them, you'll see they connect with each other, but they're polar opposites of each other. It's kind of my duality, because one thing I used to do a lot, and I love that I did this, but I'm kind of done with it. I'm over this. I would take a record and put all different types of flavors in it. It'll be like, there's the Afrobeat song, and then there's the hip hop song, and then there's the trap song, and then there's this song and that song. And I love that. That's what I think helped Is He Real kind of get shaped the way that it did. It's all my influences growing up. Me being born in London, grew up in D.C., went to prison, then started teaching class at Harvard, then my parents are African, Sierra Leone and Ghanaian, all these different flavors were in a record like that with one linear story or concept. Now, moving forward, this is the first time I was like, this is a rap record. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of melodies here and there, but it's a rap record.
Yeah.
This one is the polar opposite of this record. but this record is speaking to this record, and you'll be able to understand what I mean by that later when it's together.
This just gets better for me as a fan of your music.
Yeah.
Also, the opportunity to talk to you. It just reminds me that there's a really fresh conversation every time someone comes back, as long as they're honest.
Yes.
And they've got something to talk about that happened inside of them, like today or recently. There's always new territory to travel and new things to mine. So you know where I am.
Yeah.
And it's not just me, by the way. I'm sure I'll be getting a call from Ebro like, fuck, you got Jason this time? What the fuck is wrong with you? You have to arm wrestle over that shit.
I got to pull up on Ebro.
You have to go see Ebro, man. Please pull up on Ebro because otherwise, I'll get that text. Love you, man.
Love you too, bro.